Hello, my name is Stuart and I'm a Kajabi expert from the UK. And in today's video, I'm just going to have a really quick one and show you how you can add two different font types next to each other. So like in this example I've already pre-made, like a Blue Peter, we have one different type of font here with the first three words we work with. And for female, you will see it's a different color, but it's also a completely different font. So if we highlight some of these words in Kajabi, you will know we can't just simply change a font. We can change some of the styles and we can assign different headers to it, but that's no good. So if you've seen my previous video, if you haven't, I'll link that in the description. You will have seen how we can upload our own custom fonts to Kajabi. So just to quickly recap, we would have created our assets landing page and we'd have uploaded our TTF files to each of our call to action, the text block. So Switzer, Zenith, Picnic. I've uploaded the fonts to all of these, Arimo, etc. And what we want to do, we then associate those to different headers in Kajabi. So I've associated the Arimo to all these types because for this site example, the designer wanted nearly every single header to be exactly the same. So I've associated and assigned header 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. to the Arimo font. But what happens if we want to change things up a bit, make it look a bit more stylish? So we want to add a bit of a different font. So in WordPress, it'd be really simple. We would just literally highlight the female part and then just drop down and select a different font. Kajabi makes it more difficult, but luckily it's very, very easy. So if I go to a version where I don't have that, I'll show you how to do it. First of all, we need to create a class, a CSS class. So we want to let's associate a class for this called BR3. So what I'm going to do, firstly, I'm going to go into the code settings of my Kajabi page. So I'm going to go to settings, custom code, custom CSS code. I'm going to go right to the bottom and I'm going to add this code here. So again, I'll put this in the description so you can just copy and paste this exactly. So now we're saying we're going to have a class called BRHome3 and we want this font to be Laura instead of as we go to our settings, we have Arimo set for absolutely everything. So we just want to have this a one-off occasion, change this font to Laura. So great, I'm going to upload that and I'm going to click save. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put something different. I'm going to call that BRHome8 and I'm going to click save. So now that is in my custom CSS code, so that's great. And you see nothing's changed yet. It's because we haven't added a class to that element yet. So we're going to go to our sections, we're going to go into this text block, we're going to click on the two little brackets for the source code, and we're going to go and find where that is. So at the moment it's all in H4, which is great, but what we want to do, where it says female, so we're just going to add a little bit of code before it. So we're just going to have a bit of code to show that this is a class BR8. So I've broken my arm, as you can see, so I'm doing more copy and pasting because I'm struggling to type. So I'm going to paste this from a cheat sheet, but we've changed this to BR8. So we've added span class equals BRHome8, and then we just need to close this off as well. So after the word female, we need to add bracket and span just to close that. So if I click OK and then save, we can see, look, it's changed already. Fantastic. And if you want to change the color, Nowadays, you don't even need the code of Kajabi. You can just highlight it, click on text color, we can change it. If we want to change some of the sizing of that font for any reason, I know sometimes some fonts are very different sizes to others, so it might need a bit of playing around. If you wanted to do that, we'd literally just go back into our CSS code, and then we can just add a bit more to that. So we could say we want the font size to be 40, and we want to change the color. So let's make it bigger, 80, just to make sure, and then change the color. So the color will probably be overridden by what we just added there in the blue, but let's just see if the size goes up. Yeah. So if we can change the color here. Fantastic. Yeah, so if you highlight and change the color on this part, it will override it. But if we don't add that color, it will just pick out what's in the CSS. And then if you wanted to add it to another word, say you want to add it to leaders, the same thing applies again. We just go into our source code, and then we're going to add the first part. So we can just copy this. Span class 8. We can add the same color again. And then we want to go and add it before leaders. And then we just need to close it off again. So we're going to add the bracket and the span text, and then just paste it after leaders. So let's click OK to see if that's worked. Again, that's come through again, absolutely perfectly. So the same applies to anything. Like if you wanted to add then, say we want to make this title a different font, you just do the same thing again, but you probably want to create a new class. So you would go to settings, custom code, we can duplicate what we've got here, and then you might just want to change what class it is. So you might want to call it BR Home 10, for example. So if I change that, I've copied that. I'm going to change that to 150. And the font family, I'm going to change. No, I'm going to keep it as. So we'd call that 10. And then you would literally just go to here and we go into the source code again, and you just add your new class. It's as simple as that. So this gives you some control over what fonts that you can add to your Kajabi, so you can make your sites look a bit more interesting. Hopefully not like this, but you'll get the drift. Thanks a lot.